Let's check it out. Let's check it out. All right, just reading some papers here. Some news, some news. All right. What a day. What a day. What a day. So, all right, no worries. I got got my hand on the pulse, and we're gonna expect this. So things are changing. Things are changing. Okay, and I've talked about this before, and we talked about different scenarios that could transpire. So let's see what's going down here. So let's see if we can add this. Add to stream. All right, so let's dive in. So let's see what's going down in the news. And reading off the front, I am noticing a couple of things here. So I am noticing China is making moves. Okay, I'm noticing that certain things are happening as far as delisting. They're getting stronger in Hong Kong. I mean, it's not going to happen today, but I'm noticing things that can help us in the future. Concerns here. There was one article here. What CEOs are more worried about is inflation or supply chains? Definitely supply chains, because of the tensions between China and U.S. relations. Obviously, Elon's still selling shares. I'm noticing a lot of CEOs are selling their shares. Okay, that's always a concern, and the media's not really covering it, so you have to kind of dive deep. All right. Okay. All right. So China's anti-monopoly crackdown. Okay. And this Omicron is trying to pick up steam. I don't know if it's going to get some steam, but it's trying to pick up steam. On CNBC, the headlines are just basically, the futures are down, obviously 46.29. We kind of saw that coming. Fauci says some redefinition of fully vaccinated is on the table. Okay, why is this guy still in office, man? It's just crazy. Well, not in office, but in his position. Vivian share slide. Okay. Okay, so I'm just looking for the headlines. All right, let's dive in. Let me get out of this because I don't want to give them too much. All right, let's dive in. So ultimately, futures, E-minis. If we go to the 4 a.m. hour, we're here. And 4 a.m. hour, as you can tell, I already posted it, is 46.56. If you're wondering what brokerage I'm using, this is the Thinkorswim, obviously, is right there. And they don't charge you for data, so especially for futures data. So that's why I have it, and it's right there. I have an alert up there, and that's what I do every morning. So basically, what we do that, if we're below that, we're probably going to end up having a bearish day. If by any time throughout the day we go above that, it just kind of signals me that I might want to change my position for the day. Okay. As you can tell, we can probably go lower at the bottom stream, about 45.84 on futures. And we're going to open up lower. We close at 46.68 on the XPX. XPX is on the right. Futures is on the left. Okay. So if we work lower, we're probably going to work lower. Now, I said all weekend, it could be a couple of things. And we're going to find out today, is it those things? And most importantly, we're going to find out, is it a XPX row week? Is it, quad witching week? Is it, what is it, when the rebalancing of the XPX and the X Russell? Right? Is it any of those things? I don't know. I don't know, but we're going to find out soon, and I'm going to show you and tell you what to look for and to find out. So let's dive in here and let's see what the overall market is telling us. So let's look for the weather forecast and what to expect today. Now, you're definitely going to want to pay attention, especially if you're a stock trader, because there's a couple of things that are alarming here to me. And number one, now what are we looking at? We're looking at the XPX, NDX, and Russell. So this is basically what is the weather forecast for us today. So as you know, if you've been following this, then you're going to find out that basically the 50-day moving average is where we like to get into positions, both in stocks and anything, right? And all paths leads back to the 50 in any time frame. So we rallied up yesterday, 2 days ago, on the Fed news, right? And then we very quickly sold off. So we sold off very quickly. So what does that tell us? That tells us that they're selling the pops. They're selling the pops. There's no day twos. So they're selling into strength. All right. Are you getting that? So now when they sell into strength, Now they're going up. So now they're going up, they're going up. And then the NDX, they're selling into strength, right? And it very quickly went back down to the 50. XPX is a little stronger, but they sold into strength on the Russell. It kept going lower, all right? So watch that. Pay attention to that. So now the NDX, we find ourselves back at the 50. We're still weak on the MACDs, and we can break lower. If this MACD breaks zero, right, then we're probably going to head lower, and then the NDX is going to go lower. If we bounce and maybe end of day, if they start buying at the end of day, that's very good, because then they start buying into the weekend, right? That's positive. Or do they sell into the weekend? They're going to tell us one way or another what they're going to do. They're going to buy it or sell it. Russell looks weak. We're right there. And like, if you've been following me, I've been telling you that 2120 is a cliff. If we take that out, now we're closer to the end here. At some moment, I think that this is going to be telling right here, because we should be bouncing here and we're not getting the bounce. This was a mini bounce and we're not getting it. When the ball dribbles here quite some bit, it's going to tell us that they're going to sell this off, possibly, or we should bounce. If they sell this off, we go lower. We go lower. What does that mean? That means that they're selling everything. They don't see a bright future in 2022. They're selling, they're rearranging. So back in 2001, if you've been trading that long during the implosion, basically they sold the companies that weren't making any money first. That was the first wave. If you study history, the first wave was they're selling the stuff that was not making any money. I'm not saying we're going to have that scenario, but if you start noticing and screening through all the everything that's going down, you start noticing that they're selling a lot of the bad stuff that's not making any money, right? It started. You start seeing. So, and why is that? I think it's because, and in general, that's a general rule, right? If you study any books, like I would highly recommend Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, probably one of the best books for trading. Now, it's not going to teach you strategy, it's going to teach you mindset, but it's actually about a real life trader called Jesse Livermore. Amazing, and his life lessons as a trader during the Depression and before that. But that's one book. There's a couple other books I can recommend, but that's the first one I would recommend. But he discusses when there's too much liquidity in the system, money becomes dumb. So think about the roaring 20s right before the crash. Think about before 2007, 2008, before 2001. We always have these like corrections. They don't last very long, but there's correction. There's too much liquidity in the system, and people become, hate to say it, not very bright or stupid. Let's just say they can become stupid. They want to buy into everything. They believe everything. And at the end of the day, if a company's not making money, it doesn't matter what my opinion thinks or yours. It just matters if when you buy, is the next person behind you is being bought. Yes, please. Thank you. Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. Highly recommend that. But the only thing that matters is when you get into a position, are other people buying after you? That's what matters. And if they're not buying after you, then guess what? You're probably wrong in that trade. Now, you can say, Angel, I'm not a day trader. That's fine. But the next day, they should be buying after you if you're, in a position. If they're not buying after you, then people don't believe. They don't have that belief system that you do. So trading is very simple. And if you can just grab that, what I just told you, you'll do well. If you're trading longer term, monthly, then the next month, they should be buying after you, right? So again, just follow that. I'm watching the price action here. It's reminiscent of 2018 Q4. That was one of it was like when the Fed pivoted, the same thing they did, and they sold into the Christmas. They sold into Christmas week. Is that, we're at jeopardy of that happening? Today's going to be a tell-all. We'll find out at the end of the day, because there's three things that are occurring. There is the XPX roll week, right? We're seeing that price action, which I told you is when the XPX has a 100-point move down day, where the traders get out of their position for this quarter and roll it into next quarter. So they're maneuvering. Is it that? Maybe. There's also the rebalancing. So again, they're going to sell some shares and buy new shares. So there's a lot of transactions occurring. Is it that? Maybe. Is it the quad witching, meaning that the options expire this week, and usually the market will take down options. So that's why there's always be careful trading this week, just to kind of shake out the tree. And a lot of traders will be caught. Is it that? I don't know. But we're going to lock a price action. We're close to that 50-day moving average. We're going to see what happens today. So watch the Russell. If it starts breaking down, when that could be it. But again, let's dive in and watch the MACDs. If it starts rolling down, breaking zero, then we're going lower. Okay. All right. So VIX, fear is getting into the marketplace. So if we measure fear for the last 4 days, you can tell that, this is why I drew the boxes. It's telling me that we're in a range for the last week, 18 to about 23. So that means that fear is coming back in, and fear is going up pre-market. So if I measure it in the last 2 weeks or the last month, you can tell that the month of December has been since actually November 22nd, that fear has entered into the marketplace in the last month. Remember, we were at 18. Anything above 18, there's a lot of fear. So notice, I'm just going to share with you where we were months before that. There was no fear. We were very bullish, but now that the market is going higher. So now if we excel, if we start breaking 30, which I don't think we are, or let's just say this, if we start breaking 23, let's say 23.70, we start breaking that, then we're probably going to go down. I'm also going to share with you things you should probably look at today. I'm going to be looking at Apple, Goldman Sachs, and NVIDIA for a tell, as well as the VIX. So put your alert up there, and let's see if it happens. And we're going to take advantage of this. So I like trading downward markets, but I know a lot of individuals don't. But we're going to take advantage of this. Now the Treasury notes are in a sweet spot. They're not going up. They're staying right here, and that's good. So now we got a red candle on the VIX. So we're good here. They're not going up. But I also noted the ECB came out yesterday, and I also noticed that other central banks are raising interest rates. So is that hurting us as well? So just keep your eye on the pulse, and let's see how to manage these things. All right, so let's dive in. Let's see what's going down here, and let's see if we can find some movers here, right? So here we go. Let's find some movers. All right, so all right, let's go in. So right off the bat, we're looking at a 15-minute time frame using very, very simple, right? Very, very simple. Simple. I'm going to take that out. Very, very simple thing. I'm going to take myself out, and here we go. Simple. We're using the 50-day moving average, right? We're using the MACDs, and we're using the range. The boxes are just the range of yesterday's movements and the day before, just looking at the range. Okay, so the XPX right now, we know we're going to open up lower. As suspected, remember, this is a trade actually set up, remember, right there at the 50. We're breaking below zero. This is going to open up lower. Now, I did get into a trade yesterday based on that at the end of the day, so that's going to work out real nicely. I'm probably going to get out at the open. However, what is going to happen next? Are we going to have an extension sell-off, or are we going to bounce back, right? So don't know, but let it come back to the 50. If it comes back to the 50, that could be a potential trade to the downside if you start noticing the setup. Okay, and I'm going to share with you what that looks like. So yesterday, this was the XPX. When we're at the hours, 15-minute, 1 minute I don't really look at, but I usually look at these two ranges. When we have this very, very rarely happens. When we have the price action on the hours on the XPX at the 50 and the 15-minute at the 50 breaking down, that's usually something big is going to happen. We're either going to go up or we're going to go down. These volatile stocks or indices do not hang out at the 50 very, very long. So this is a key level that you want to be looking at for a potential trade. Okay, CMG. So again, it's XPX. We're going to work lower. Let's see if we can hold key levels here. We can hold at 46.02, 46.10, let's say right in that middle. If that gets taken out and we go lower, 46.51 is a next level down, okay? And that's what we'll know. We'll know. So we need to hold 46.09. If we can bounce at 46.09, two things are going to happen today. We're either going to sell off really hard or we're going to rip massively, right? And what I mean by that, then it is the XPX row week. It is, it is that. And then usually if that is the case, at the end of the day, you'll start noticing a massive, massive rip, which is very positive for us going into the weekend, right? Especially Christmas. But if we don't get that, then be prepared. NASDAQ working his way lower. Okay. Again, the trade was to the downside here, even though, again, and this is what I'm talking about. You got the momentum swing right here. And if it breaks zero, you're getting into a midstream. So don't expect a huge pop, but you can get into that because, it is going to work its way lower, and we'll see. Russell working his way lower. So again, that 2120, it's a cliff. It's a cliff, guys. Watch that 2120. Alphabet working his way lower. If you watch TradingView, guys, again, I do the follow-up. I'm committed to doing this. The pre-market for this is called the Market Pulse, and I do it at 12 o'clock on the dot on TradingView. And here I gave out that trade. So I hope you guys took advantage of that if you follow there. But basically, that was a beautiful trade setting up, and we took that trade back down. It's probably going to go open up at 28.50. Nice trade. But again, don't take the trade now because it's probably coming back up to the 50 at some moment. Now, if you see Google collapse, here's the other thing. Here's the other tell too. Think about this. If they start selling, and we read the earnings report, you know that there's certain companies that are making money. They're doing great dividends. If there's the next wave, if they start selling the things that are making money, then you have to be careful of. So again, this is why we watch Alphabet, Google, and all these guys, because if they take this one down and this, again, let it come back up and we'll see it. And I'm gonna show you what to look for. Amazon. Now, no thing about Amazon, people think Amazon will go above 4,000. It's not. And one of the main reasons why is because, the Bezos, they sell a tremendous amount of shares every quarter. So until they stop doing that, Amazon's not, it's a great stock to trade because it moves beautifully once you know what to look for. But as far as long term, I don't think this thing's gonna go above 4,000. But until they stop doing that. But again, Amazon sold off, same way as Google, midstream. And again, because these stocks move, they're not moving $1, $2, $3. These don't move that way. You can trade these midstream as far as the MACDs because you can get, easy 25, 30 points, So that's why when it comes to this. Now, if you're trading NEO or something like that doesn't move, I wouldn't do that because you're going to get 50 cents. It's not worth it. Tesla. Okay, so Elon is selling shares. Now, the key thing about, the thing when you dive into Elon and why he's selling shares, it's interesting. He doesn't really need to sell the shares. These are stock options. He doesn't need to sell the shares right now. So that always brings me, another reason. Why is he doing it now? Is it under the guise of something? Now, potentially, I don't know if this is going to happen, but is he going to leave and focus his attention on SpaceX? Don't know, So again, you always want to look to see what's behind that, the selling, because he doesn't need to sell it. I know there's a funny story between him and Senator Warren, or he calls her Karen Warren, but he doesn't need to sell it. So anyway, watching that news, seeing what happens there. But if we don't recoup that 950, we're going to sell off even more. He still has 25% of his shares to be sold. So watch that. Can we get that high? Don't know, but I don't like the price. We're down about 30% from the highs. ISRG, there. Let's see what happens there. Chipotle, again, they sold the pop. So everything that popped on Wednesday, they sold off. Are we going to get a massive rip today? Don't know. But if we don't get it, be prepared. But Chipotle is right there. Like where we like it. MACDs are okay, but right there. Something big is going to happen at Chipotle. Okay, so Lam Research, again, selling off. Goldman Sachs, selling off. If Goldman Sachs can't break above 400, we're probably going to go lower. Netflix, selling off. Again, they sold the pop. That was an entry yesterday. Roku, watch Roku. This thing had a downgrade to 190, went down there, and then popped up. So is this Kathy Wood buying it, trying to get out of position? That is a possibility. Watch it at 215. It starts breaking down. Well, no, MACDs aren't there. Let it come back up and see what happens there. If it can, that might be a potential trade. NVIDIA. Watch NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA, what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for NVIDIA because NVIDIA popped. These guys are making money. They're doing really, really well. But NVIDIA needs, if you want to know if the market is real, we're going to look at NVIDIA and let's see if NVIDIA can take out that 287, right? 285. 285 if we know that they're buying it. And then if it can take out 287, then they're buying it and the market's not going to collapse. Okay, so that's one tell. Mercado Libre, this thing tried to rally, is giving it all back right now. So watch Mercado Libre. This could be because this thing sold off pretty hard. And usually this happens. This is a dead cat bounce where they basically, or it could be a reversal. I'm not sure, but sold off pretty hard and they need to sell off some shares so they cost some strength and now they're going to sell into it. I don't know. I was hoping this basis because this thing got sold off pretty hard. So we'll watch Mercado Libre. Apple, you got to watch Apple, guys. If Apple cannot get above, let's see. Okay, so let's get here. Yesterday I said if Apple can't get above this 170 area, then we're not going higher, guys. Okay, if Apple starts collapsing, then the whole market is going to go down. Okay, Apple's a flight to safety, and that's going to be a tell for us going into today. If Apple starts coming up here and starts selling off, then just look out below, and we're going to take advantage of that. Trade Desk working its way lower. All right, so Shopify moves nicely. If it takes out that 29.97, needs to come up. So watch it there. Affirm. Now, Affirm's a garbage company. Upstart too, but Upstart has an AI component. So Affirm, right? I think more data came out. Like 5% of people don't make a payment in the first month. I think 53% of people who use Affirm are already defaulting on their payments. So, again, when I talk about a garbage company, watch this one because they pop it and then they sell into it. They popped it and sell. This is what I mean. They're popping it and people who are in it want to be happy, but then they sell. See, look at this as a sell-off. They're getting out of this thing in a hurry. These are rats getting out of a falling ship. They're getting out of this thing, right? Upstart, same thing, but they have an AI component, same as a firm. AI component that maybe they're licensing that and they can make money off. HubSpot working lower. Zoom working ways higher. So watch the Omicron news. If that starts picking up steam, Zoom can probably go up. Booking holding steady. Watch it at the 2150. ServiceNow and Coinbase working his way lower. Chips. Chips are holding pretty strong. So watch the chips to lead the sector. If the chips can start breaking higher, then that's very positive for the overall markets. Qualcomm working his way lower. ASML working his way lower. So I have a trade on Qualcomm. I'll probably give it next week. AMD, and this is for 2022. Again, AMD, if it can take out 137, we're looking better. AMAT working his way lower. Lucid, try to go, working his way lower. Rivian working his way lower. Roblox. Okay, so yeah, all right, let's find out. Let's find out what's going down in here. So then I got Avgo here that I was looking at. Now, Avgo has a dividend date. They're paying high dividends, but they're even selling off Avgo, right? So Avgo is working his way lower. So let's find out what's really going down here. So what could be the trade here that we did like for today? Let's see. Okay, NASDAQ, Google, maybe Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. Maybe Goldman Sachs. Tesla, Goldman Sachs. And if you guys have something, write it down in the comments and I'll cover it right now. Affirm. All right, we're going to look at that. All right, we're going to be looking at... okay, so we're going to look at a couple here. Let's look at Tesla. All right, let's look at Tesla. All right, so Tesla, let's look. Now, Tesla's right below the 50-day moving average, so be careful. I told you that yesterday. Watch it. It needs to reclaim that 1021. Or is it going to come down, bounce its head, and roll over? MACDs are rolling over. So buyers are losing faith in Tesla. Now, Tesla, on the hourly charts, we broke below it. It looks like what's going to happen here. Is it going to sell off into the weekend, or is it going to come back up to that 949? Now, on the 15-minute chart, we're coming up here. So what's going to happen here on the 15-minute, 922? If we start bouncing down and this starts breaking down, and we take out that 905, we are going to go down. So from 921, that could be a trade to the downside. So that's what we're going to be looking for. If it starts breaking up, breaking above zero, then it's probably going to head up to probably there to that 950. So watch it for Tesla at 947 to be exact, to be right there. Okay, so that's the trade on Tesla. What else did we have? We had let me see, what else did we have today? I forgot. What else did we have? We had Tesla, Chipotle. Let's look at Chipotle. Maybe Chipotle, CMG. All right, so Chipotle, trying to get up, broker like the 50, first stock trade. This is the 1 day coming back up. Let it come back, because it's not really powerful. It's sold off here, so watch it. We're going to be looking at it right there at that 1755 area for stock trade. Let it come back up. Now, on the hourlies, right? Hourlies, it's right there. So if I start zooming in here and looking at Chipotle, we're at the zero on the MACDs. We're at a 50-day moving average. So something very powerful could happen right here. So this is potentially, if it starts bouncing down, breaking down, we're probably going to head lower, and we're probably looking at 1653. Okay, on here, if we start breaking lower, bouncing off here, then that's going to come to fruition. So there you go on Chipotle. What else do we have? All right, I got a couple of minutes left. Affirm. Let's look at Affirm. Okay, let's look at Affirm, because it's a garbage company, and garbage needs to be sold off. So look at Affirm. So as you can tell, investors, 175, this thing is selling off. Again, dead cat bounce right there, coming down, coming down, coming down. So watch it right here at 91.87. Again, we're coming to the end here. Could this be another sell-off, or are they going to take it back up? We're pretty far away from the 50, but again, something's going to happen just like the Russell, and let's see what happens here. Again, Affirm, pretty far away. They sold it off at the 50 on the hourlies. Is this going to have a sell-off, a continuation of sell-off, and then come back up? Or is it going to come back up to that 104, 100? If that's the case, watch it there for a potential trade. On the 50-minute charts, again, it's telling me that this could probably continue to a sell-off, and we're right there. So what are we looking at? We're at the 50-day moving average. We're at the zero. If this starts bouncing down, we're probably going to head down to that 92 area. If 92 gets taken out, look out below. We're probably going to go way, way lower. How low can we go? Let me take a look here. We fill in that gap. We're probably going to go to that 87, and then we have 74, okay, on the firm. So again, that is a potential trade that we have there. All right, so those are the few that we have there. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin working its way lower, guys. We're right there. We're coming to the end. Key levels to watch on Bitcoin is going to be that 200-day moving average, which is around 47,023. If that gets taken out, look at 41,677. Okay, because this could have an exhaustion sell-off, but there's a lot of buyers at that level. If we bounce, look for levels to the upside at 49,600, and then we have some headwinds at 51,923, and then you have the 50-day moving average. So watch that. If that goes up, then watch MicroStrategy for an upward play, but watch Bitcoin. Ethereum just holding steady, working its way lower. Like I stated, there is a lot of buying at that 3568 area. Doesn't look like a reversal is happening. They're selling the pops, same as the rest of the stock market. Okay, so that's what we have. Now, Chinese stocks, you got to watch it. And I forgot to mention NEO. NEO is at jeopardy. So again, watch NEO. They've been selling off NEO. The investors are getting out of NEO, guys. So watch NEO. Again, I wouldn't look at NEO until it can get above $35. Right now, it's still working its way lower. Remember, don't buy stocks. It's working its way low. Let it cross. Let it base. Don't chase if you think NEO is an opportunity. But NEO is a China company. It's at risk of being delisted. And that's why investors are getting out of it. They're getting out of a lot of the China stocks, guys. All right, guys. Any questions? Cool. That's what we have. Stay frosty on the. If you want to trade the IWMs or anything like that, these are the Russell. This is the Russell component. Again, if the Russell starts breaking down, this is the Russell. So again, what are we going to be looking for? Again, let it come back up on the 15-minute time frame. If it feels going to go down, this is a way for you to play Russell, and you play Russell to the downside. All right. That's all we got, guys. It's going to be a great week, so far. Don't chase, let it base. Stay green. What else can I say? If you want to see, what I was going to show you. Was I going to show you anything? All right. So let it chase, don't base. And I guess this is it, guys. So go out there, stay green. Go get it. Set up your trades properly. And remember, before you leave, subscribe and like. And go get it. I'll see you at 12 on TradingView. Take care. All right.